Okay, so apparently there is something seriously wrong with the way I simulate. Woohoo! Woohoo! Zome all over the place. Let's watch that again. So just imagine you're just chilling, you come inside your Zome making Zome, you put on your hazmat suit, and you start making Zome panels in there out of bioplastic. You're just chilling. Everything's cool. You're having a lovely day. And then along comes physics. So you're just jamming, and then it's like, oh, hey physics. Thanks for dropping by. Woohoo! Something wrong with my understanding of physics. So if we can understand the importance of the mathematical models at the base of our civilization, having a great day, relaxing. Oh no, we got physics completely wrong. Oh dear, whoosh, oh dear. Oh no, it's not such a great. So welcome to the Dome. We are getting much better with physics these days. So, oh look, a bit of it stays together, but if you just fuck it a little bit, oh, it's completely, oh, help me. I know you're really interested to watch my videos, so I just wanted to let you know. Tried to make a camp all about harmlessness, but I've made the most dangerous object in the universe, which is fucking shitstorm of just danger, okay? Okay, this is a big 15-second eureka moment, right? Only these bottom ones where you can see these points have been joined. The rest are all just sitting on top of each other, and when I simulate, only the doors fall off because they haven't got any joins. Everything else stays together on its own weight, it doesn't need. Okay, this is one of the safest structures in the world. These top panels are not being held together by anything other than gravity. And they stay together. Let's see what happens when we throw some balls at it. Captain Compost, can you feel it? Can you, Do you? Do you feel it? These things are just standing together under their own weight. Oh, it's such a safe design. Doesn't make it. Okay, please remember for this demonstration, none of these panels are joined together by anything other than gravity. It would be much more like treading on a puffball. It would just sort of puff in and it will stay connected. Boom! Okay, so this is a block of ice. And its properties are like ice and weight and everything. Throw it at the structure, and then we've only got one layer of panels, the bottom layer connected to the one above. Everything else is being held by gravity. The block of ice. So check it, look, if we make the block of ice bigger, this is a pretty chunky piece of ice now, run the simulation, boom, the thing smashes. Ladies and gentlemen, and now for the age-old engineering experiment of a huge tonk on the head from a piece of ice. Bonk! Yo! Nearly held together. That's a big old piece of ice. One of those squares is 2 meters. So just a little less tonky and, yes, stays together just with gravity and the sacred geometry, which we are expression of ourselves. Wonderful. Okay, so this is going to be where it's at its weakest. Plonk on your side of your thing, cause people with glass houses should not throw stones. But it's bioplastic. Actually, it's yes, plants, carbohydrates, turning the hydrocarbons. May I remind you that this is with 0 bolts holding the panels together. Massive piece of ice. Oh, and the geometry is just naturally very strong. I guess that's why they make pine cones out of it. Okay, so the weakest spot is if you hit it right in the middle. Only a little hit from a giant ice block will really ruin supper. Oh, it's pretty strong. Hi my guys. I've now joined together all the panels, at least in the same direction that they will be joined by the bolts. And I'm going to run a simulation. Okay, so we're going to drop our trusty piece of ice onto the dome on the weakest spot. Doosh! Nothing, mate. Okay, if you really want to piss off this Zome, drop a massive piece of ice on his head and be like, oh my god, that just hurt so much. Oh, so much I hate it. So it's really, really strong. If I drop a massive bit of ice, it turns into birds. Okay, so now I'm simulating this as a lump of iron instead of a lump of ice. And boom! Still holds together until it turns into birds, but you know, it's rolling down the side. Anyway, this type of structural simulation is not very accurate. We need Okay, so we got a ton of metal. It's about 1 meter across. Cast iron bounces off the surface until it turns into birds. This type of simulation has got too many parameters that freaks out the calculation, so we're going to use Autodesk. Okay, so now a 1/2 meter brick. Ladies and gentlemen, boom. Huh, nothing, just wobbly. But bear in mind that cannot simulate tiny things, and it's trying to, so it goes, I'm a bird, I want to be free. When I take this structure to the Department of Town Planning, I'll tell them if you drop a large-sized rubber square, about 1/2 meter across, it'll be completely fine. No, oh, maybe a couple of wobbles, but otherwise. So I have a funny job, you know, simulating clouds. Come on, you can do it. You can see them appearing, but... So this is my attempt to simulate hail. However, it is rinsing my computer, and it's not really able to process it. So, even in the worst of climate change hailstorms, it should be okay. Okay, my cheeky chappies, we are building the prototype out of MDF plywood, giving ourselves a much shorter lifespan, breathing in all the dust, but chopping out the panels with amazing Fez tools that we've got, which can later be used for the pallet furniture. That's Harry Potter there, when he's not writing oil bombs for African presidents and partying. That's your friend Charlie Fraser. So it's 1/3 the scale, marking up the panels, and here we are in Battersea Park laying it out and putting it together. I'm just testing to see whether or not it works. Thank heavens it does, kind of. Okay, so this thing works. It fits, but it's going to be 3 times larger and made out of transparent bioplastic. That's going to be huge. It's pretty strong. Holds its own weight up so far. Any ties? I know there's a few incorrect angles. Those are all the different panels, all 6 panels. There's another photo of me, I'm sorry. That's the top row, laid out flat. But when you join them together, using your little friends, you can make pointy things. Pointy things. 6 panels, fit together to make Zome 1. And Zome 1 can also make Zome 8, 6 and 4 using the same 6 panels. Put it together how you like. Put it in space, put it in the sea. There's a picture of me in Shambhala. This is Zome 6 with a bed. Zome 8 with a bunch of Zome 4s as a kind of bathroom facility. This is sort of a camp where you could set up a hotel, another configuration. Very quickly we can be setting up little hotels. Setting up in the townships where most people live on the planet, in ghettos, in the posh places. Setting up schools and little hotels, little green campuses. All around the world, baby, dream! So, the main reason in deploying these camps is so we can set up forest gardens and help our Mother Earth. This is Arundel Forest Garden, where I went to learn from nature how to provide what I need in abundance, freely and harmlessly. And she taught me, and the Dharma taught me, the Buddha taught me, just simple things, whatever you need, and it's the most efficient and the most sophisticated and the most beautiful. That's the dome there in the middle, our yoga dome, and the home dome, and a teepee joined together. We'd make the teepee where people could sleep here just on tuffets of shaved sheep in the spring, and camp mats that was joined onto the yoga dome. We just built as simply as we could. Unfortunately it's plastic, but it's windproof. We survived 110-mile-an-hour storms here in our vegan permaculture design course, where we tried to design a way that we could be present on that land with the restrictions that the Duke and Duchess put on us, that no one could be there when I wasn't there, effectively hobbling the whole project. That, they said I could rent it out, but in the end I was kicked off the land because I Airbnb'd it out, and now it's just a mess, and they've clear cut it, and it's all sitting there. And what do? Charge people to live on the land? And they held knives to their throat originally and killed their whole families to dominate the land. We created something about harmlessness, and this mine, yours thing has got to be organised democratically. The economic sphere is the last. We've turned the political sphere into democracies, but the great powers of wealth are financial. The economic sphere must be democratized, and Chicago plan is that. This was my little home in the woods that I built over years, and I was forced to take down for just no good reason because of the ragwort that was there all year, every year. This was us for drumming circles, and we tried all different programs to make it wash its face, and I was given permission by His Grace, the Duke of Norfolk, so that I could charge to be there. And when I put it on Airbnb, that was the first time it made money. So it was built by volunteers for free, or we just partied to get the money to buy the wood or to buy the structures, or I'd order things that were way out of my price range, and magically the money would just come the day before I needed to pick it up. This was my shower. Hot shower, just with a little gas canister. You could do that with a Jean Pain, pile of compost. If you didn't want to use that, my friends come down and help me pick all the berries, and there was heaps of them, and fruits, and if we were allowed to have people there when I wasn't there, they could also build their kutis rather than everyone having to be dependent on my disorganization, then other people could build their teepees and domes there, and it would be so easy. It's impossible on your own. You need a community. And sea buckthorn, it's impossible to imagine a sphere of health where we would hold hands and connect with the nature intelligences and ask to be guided as we tried to co-create with that which gives us our breath, our food. It's our mother. It gives us our body. It gave us our minds. We're one with them. So we studied their forms and worked to create their same efficiencies. Like the bees, the only language with remote reference in their language. And that was the forest garden. I designed the forest garden, turned it from a field. Grace gave me $2,000. Georgie gave me $2,000 to start it off with, and a load of trees, and then we partied for the rest, and I had to keep it alive, and they said you can live there for free and you just look after it. But it's like how much time it takes to do that, and you're not able to earn money out of the land. It's a contract for an underclass kind of poverty, which then they contempt, even though you compare that to any other kind of like informal settlement in the UK and how people live in protest camps. I've seen none so productive and harmonious, and so much wildlife that trusted me and came to me when they're injured, and it's just a divine abode. Anyway, now the lesson that I've learned is to get the contract with the land sorted out, cooperative ownership of the land, so that what we put there, if I die like my father did, then it's safe. By the virtue of my child, he can be a member to the land that I cared for, and my friends that came and helped cared for me and others. This is the Green Camp business model. It's to create a cooperative that rents the land with an option to buy if we get up to a self-sufficiency, and we deploy the camp. And this kitchen we designed, it's demountable. Told I'm not welcome in my own home, but my stepfather, this fascist, economic fascism, super fascism, it's mine. I do what I want, what I say, not because of justice. Nice people who came to support me in Zone 1 right there, just taking it easy. The amount of times we loaded that car up. Luke Green, a natural builder down south, helped me build the domes. This is Trees for Cities tree nursery course. This is trying to set up a tree nursery in Morocco with High Atlas Foundation and other fucking corrupt people. It's economic fascism, not democratic control of our resources, but it's just mine. It doesn't work. We got to dream of something better. This is a dome tree I developed for James Cameron with the original plans for Green Camp was Navi Camp. We pitched it. Let's live like the Navi and popularize that narrative. He liked it, but we couldn't get there. This is my friends helping me get the wood and cut the wood for the Zome. and they just make music out of anything and everything, and just like all the time orchestra. So now we're redesigning the structures of the camp, the Zome system. I've been building this prototype in my hallway out of plywood to learn what I can before I build the real stuff out of bioplastic. That's a bioconference fair in Paris where I've got completely plant-based bioplastics. From 6 panels, you can build the big one, smaller from the same panels. It's all sacred geometry. It's totally harmonic. It stands up under its own, just because it's like a stone arch. They all fall down, and you don't even need to hold them together, but you do, because if something hits it, it will fall out of place. This is Zome 6 with a bedroom configuration, living super airy, and then plugging on the shower configuration of Zome 4. It could be cupboard, any of those vertical facets. This is a configuration for a dormitory for Zome 1. So that scaffold holds up some fun platforms and some hammocks, and you can fit like 30 kids in there, stick a fire in the middle. This is the camp. Like, we get £1,000 a night, everyone paying 30 quid. So let's deploy the camp. It can be a green B&B. People want to come and stay in a nice vegan, super raw food, healthy yoga, meditating temple where they can grow a food forest and be around what made them, their mother, and look after her. People will pay money to come down and do that from all different backgrounds, but you can be cheap because these structures are cheap to build to live simply. So we can deploy them and then start renting them out Airbnb. They can make thousands every night, pay for itself quickly because people sleep simply and all together like we want to be, man, like we need to be, because we're just so isolated. We're destroying ourselves. We're training up cooperatives there, and sociocratic cooperatives with 8 Shields, John Young, and some more of these resonant cavities for our meditation. Deploy them with the military. Get Prince Harry and Prince William, who are going to own that army soon, and jolly well do some non-violent conflict resolution deployments like Standing Rock, man. Yeah, get your TPs ready, man. Your TP 2.0. Dream big. Dream up some beautiful things. Understand the laws of nature and serve her, our mother, the divine, perfect law of love. Yeah, man. This was one of the last weekends we had in the forest garden before I got kicked out. Simple airbeds, a whole bunch of like Facebook engineers came down or stayed there, trying to explain to the cows, I'm sorry, and this is just, humans are just barbaric beasts. So we have some very high level support. This is Bergs's meditation retreat center in the south of France, and they're very kindly offering to, let us look at doing green camp stuff there, maybe, or at least the eco-village design curriculum here in Sicily with the Ministry of the Interior, using the eco-village design curriculum to economically and socially integrate the migrants. This is Gaia Education's who doing the eco-village design curriculum all over the world, but at the base in Findhorn, May East and her husband Craig in charge of Findhorn. And the prophecy of light that's still outstanding. Maybe the sun cell will make that happen. But this is the forest garden the summer before it was ended because it looked too crap. Like, what madness, man. What madness. We need to get back to the land. We can't live. We don't have air without the nature. And we can make music together to raise the funds, to build the structures. And we can get loans to cover the rental of the land, or find fields with people who are sympathetic and understand the long term, people who are enlightened, and will let people share in the management of the land in perpetuity, like the community land trust models, these community living things which are doing very well around the world. So we find the land, rent it with the option to buy it as we become more and more successful as a cooperative, and start up camps everywhere so that people can be members of these lands, and by their virtue be members. So by agreeing to the principle of harmlessness, that you want to explore how to live in a way that's of benefit to everyone, it's the only agreement for membership. And then the resources from selling the Zomes, from renting out the Zomes, then all that money goes to the cooperative. And as a member, you can come up with ideas and say, hey, this is going to be great for everyone. And if you get enough people to support it, you get your idea funded. Rent some new land somewhere, buy some new land somewhere, set up a new camp, get the ingredients together to deploy a new camp. design some new structures, some new things that can be used that are of greatest benefit to everyone. That's the idea behind the Green Camp Cooperative, or just cooperatives in general, really. The only thing that's different about ours is that you just agree to that principle that you want to not harm any other being, as try and do all you can to be of benefit to every other being. And that the Green Camp is a place, it's a campus where we can explore how we can live in ways that are of benefit to all life. And we need to regenerate, and this is what this is. It's a regenerative deployment. It's a campus where we can really start to look at that. And as a member, if you say, hey, I want to build a kuti here and live here, and everyone else says, yeah, good, man, you build yourself that little zone, go for it, you do it, man. You get planning permission, we'll help you. We've got all kinds of people out in the group already. So yeah, be happy.